Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. You know, they be hating. They don't like it, but they gotta get it. Cause they ain't kids. So are we. Not the same. You know what I'm saying? We're not children either. You know what I'm saying? This is Point Black coming in hard off the card. You know what I'm saying? Coming with the heat from the damn street. Coming with the flow from the body. And coming with the facts to crack their back. You know what I'm saying? This is PBNN, Point Black National News, the late edition, and the ghetto edition as well. You know, so, we have a lot of things to cover, and we got to cover it over these times. Because we're hearing a lot of talk, even coming from the Sergeant General, about some misinformation stuff, but we're going to get on that in a minute. Right now, I'm still on the same joint that I was on before when I was outside talking about Kevin McCarthy and Bernice Luther King or whatever, Mr. Martin Luther King's daughter, where we had an individual where they were going back and forth between her and McCarthy. But so to say, Kevin McCarthy, is wrong, do not make true sense at all when we look at it. For one to see his country first is very important. Is very important. But we as black people, we fight the same fight. You see, that's the thing we have to understand. The fight that we're fighting, we have been fighting a very long time. And we have to understand that the fight that they have is the same fight. And we have to understand that. There is no different fight here. Well, what do you ask? What are you really fighting for? Is the question. The same fight we're fighting here is the same fight we're fighting here and abroad. So we have to look at that. We have to look at that. You know what I mean? For this goes further than the United States. And that's a fact. Many are blind to the facts. Even when it comes to the coronavirus and everything else, talking about misinformation. They're blind to the facts. So we have to start making sure that they know. They know. That's our job. Then, no. Some are blind to the facts, but I say no. They are not. So we have to look at that. Confuse is their game. So when you deal with these people, you're going to deal with being confused and confusion, which leads to what? Chaos. Because when one is confused and believes that he's going in the rightful direction, does not always say good for the decisions that you make. Out of hesitancy or even out of being too hesitant, too quick. It's more than one way to say hesitancy. You know what I'm saying? But you could bet confusion when it comes to these wicked beasts, demon Democrats, and all of them in the same basket, somewhat even in the medical field as well. You know what I mean? They deal with confusion. This is their game. This is their game when we look at it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it is, embedded in the U.S., institutions. This democratic demon, Democrats' mind frame. And it spread like a wildfire. You see what I'm saying? It spread like a wildfire. But racism is embedded in our, institutions. Yes, it is. And it's been embedded for many, many years. But a lot of people don't want to look at it that way because they want things to be how it was when they were growing up in school, and they were this and class and this and this and the popular group, and this is what they learned in school and yada yada yada, and they run with stuff like that when they should know full well that's still a waste of a child because you're not in school anymore. You know what I mean? You don't have a sixth grade education. You said you were Ivy League and you're out of school and this and the third and the fourth. Well, you need to start showing that. If the conservative have railed against, you know, rail against his views, they have the right to do so. Their opinion as well as the liberals. So if the conservatives say something, the liberals say something, they have their right as well. But we must, as blacks, push past, you know what I'm saying, the bull, Mrs. Bernice, worrying about what Mr. Carty said, and you talking about your father. But then we have a lot of discrepancies even in that realm as well. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's hating on Dr. Martin Luther King. But there's some things that we understand that went on that were not based on the understanding of putting black people in a better position. So we see where we stand. You know what I mean? And we have to start looking at that as we look at it. But we must push past the bull because we see their right and we see their left. Either way, what friends do we really have is the question, Mrs. Bernice. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like our own people have betrayed us. So, in more ways than one, the demon Democrats is using a race card or race itself and have always used that in order to control their own and in order to control those who are not their own. You know what I'm saying? So they have used the race card. But in reverse psychology, within a subject, within a subject and a gesture, you see what I'm saying? Within a subject and a gesture, you know what I mean? And we have to understand what that means. To keep the ball in their court with the help of many civil rights leaders and many others. You know what I'm saying? So when we see the subject is what? Racism, garbage they're doing to people, yada, 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 still leads back to racism. Even sex trafficking still leads back to racism. It's a subject in the sense, and the wrongdoing that you are doing to a race of people still leads back to racism, and so on and so on, while you fill your pockets and they big and become billionaires. You know what I'm saying? Off of inside information and all kind of corruptive garbage. Standing an elected official behind now elected into the government and using the government to come down on the people. That is something that we see. So the gesture is to say that they are helping you. They're giving you all these things they say you want, and they're saying that they're gonna do this and do better with racism, and they're gonna do better with this, and they're gonna do better with that, and that is a gesture to keep the ball in their court. You see what I'm saying? To keep the ball in their court. You know what I'm saying? With help from many civil rights leaders and many others. So we see that involved. You know what I'm saying? Involving the uh, uh, the sessions, we should say, the sessions of a the assertion. I'm sorry, of a belief or a behavior that is opposite to the desired. You know, is opposite to the one desire with the expectation that this approach will encourage, you know what I'm saying, will encourage the subject of the uh, of the how you say that word? I forgot how you say that word. Presertions. I'm sorry, presertion. Presertions. You know what I mean? Of the possessions or possessions, you know what I'm saying, to do what is actually desired. Same with the treatment of COVID. You know what I'm saying? We need to dig deeper than it goes. You know what I'm saying? We need to dig deeper than it goes. You know what I mean? Now, we look at the hesitancy. You know, what does this mean when the Sergeant and General wants to speak about hesitancy? The hesitancy seems like a force to push oneself in what Fauci is saying it is. Why is he still pushing? You know what I'm saying? Why is he still pushing? The damn weasel who allows this, who to me, who allow this clown in the White House at all? I really don't know. And we know who he's working for and who he is. So who let him in the White House or the medical field at all? Now Fauci, the weasel, saying that the treatment should be mandated at the local level. At the local level. But the federal government, you know what I'm saying, the federal government will not mandate it. You know, it would not mandate it. And the federal government have a right to make that decision. You know, them that now should be pushed into. It is the choice. It is not the federal government to push any kind of practice nor treatment that is of its own recommendation, a suggestion or a proposal, you know what I'm saying, as the best course of action, especially one put forward by an authority. By an authority or body. You know what I'm saying? So why will a governing body force this measure as a mandate? Is my question. As a mandate. And causing, you know, a number of things, causing and know of a number of things that can cause, you know, this to go into civil disorder. You know, is this what Fauci, you know, wants to do? I wonder. To cause a combination of causes because he is coming from a political understanding and a medical base. But there are many grievances to the treatment and one's life one's life choice. We are looking at a long-standing oppression in this situation, and now they're trying to push us back into it. So we're looking at a long-standing oppression of 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 wealth in many ways over time. You know what I'm saying? You see? So we're looking at oppression even from the wealthy people who is all involved with this garbage that you peons and they rich and you eating up this and you don't need to live. So we should wipe you out. So we're looking at the wealth situation, but also the health situation in which they're using in many ways over time by groups of political parties, you know what I'm saying, of and elected by the people. So we have to understand what I just said. But oppression by that group of people towards another. But now, Fauci is pushing everyone, and we ask why. You know what I'm saying? Even citing misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Like their information is the only information, and anybody else say anything is causing hesitancy and bad health to people because their remedy and their way is the only way because they dictator, they God, they everything, they rule your life and so on. But no, we don't see it that way. You see, you see, you know, they have to cut this out. You know, oppression by a group, you know what I'm saying, of people towards another. But now Fauci is pushing everyone. We ask why. The federal government have no place over individual choices of life. When it comes to the individual life, the federal government should have no place in these people's life. For by which of a government to do so is a overstepping of position of power. Because you're using the military, the FBI, the NSA, Homeland Security, FEMA, yada yada, in all those executive orders you sign. You know what I'm saying? So you're overstepping in a sense with this remedy and proposal, whatever you put forward as far as you're saying this, and using your power in government to push it on the people. You're pushing it upon the people that makes up as citizens, you see, that make up as citizens. So we have to understand that to make up of citizens of its state, no right should be granted to a government, federal nor state, even Supreme Court choice of the individual's life to be its own choice in a free state or easy. So even the Supreme Court choice comes from its own citizens. If the government steps its boundaries, then it is the right of the people. You know what I'm saying? It's the right of the people to take action to protect themselves from government. Because the government now may be causing them harm under a disguise of the medical field. So we have to look at that because people are not doing any investigation. They're running scared. So, two, when they decide to make sure that they're trying to straighten things out in our government because we see something is wrong, the action must be to regain order, you know what I'm saying, in the meaning of order, you know what I'm saying, not dictatorship, but bring peace amongst the masses and bring forth true and clear, honest government. The reestablishment of the United States in its fullness thereof, in which it is based on the founding fathers, writing those documents that they got from our people in order and use as a model. Now, there are things in it that are wrong, but we can work on that. Now, I think his name is Kinzinger, whatever his name is, calling out garbage politicians who play on treatment fear. You know what I'm saying? To me, there's no fear because people who is fearing are those you already got. But the people you're trying to get to is the people who know the bullshit that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But we see the pushy. You know what I'm saying? We see the pushy. The constant pushy. What is your pushing is about for people who are not saved? is the question. And the people, you know what I'm saying, who do and who have a right of choice do not feel like being pushed. You know what I'm saying? The sellouts are showing their colors now. We see. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at this situation, we have to look at it from a better perspective. I see the Republicans are now running the Democrats. They're now running with the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, to get the shot deal. We must, we must fight against any force. You know what I'm saying? What Republicans need to do is clean the house from traitors. The people need it to be cleared out. It need to be. Why? Why we ask that the Republicans should do so? Because the Democrats sure ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And what the aim is and can be. You know what I'm saying? To bring forth what they call herd immunity. What is the aim that you're bringing forward in your claim? Because your claim doesn't really hold much water. It doesn't hold much water compared to the numbers that are rising and what is going on compared to what you told the people in the very beginning. So you knew full well that this would happen. That's how we know you're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There are more to this than meets the eye. Republican Party must clear the air. But either way, we've got to be, and we've got to put forward an investigation for the people into this matter. Not bullshit talk. Because the bullshit talk is getting old. So this is Point Black saying, stay strong, stay tight, stay right. Well, I should pick up a part two. So, let the mother be thy God and stay strong in thy ways. Stay strong and speak the truth continually and speak it every day. You have the right to do so, and no one should have no dictatorship over your words. So this is Point Black saying, Ra, stay for I. May no man precede his mother, for he cannot. As the General Cyrus Houghton said, he said, no man precedes his mother. And if you do, you need to show us. We would like to see that. Pharaoh, stay strong, stay on the game, because there's many out there trying to scratch your name. You know what I'm saying? But in my book, you've done a well job and you continue to do so. Let no man conscripate, because I've seen a couple of videos up there where people are cutting and pasting and making jokes and all of that. Pay that no mind. Stay on the road and stay focused and strong. When you are the Pharaoh, you call it, you must live it. I say one.